Welcome to Season 2 of Ops Unfiltered. Our first guest this season was Paige Hope. She's the CEO and founder of Elan Pure. She's worked with Pattern, she founded a tech company, sold it, and most recently she started her own skincare brand. This episode is amazing if you are a potential founder of a skincare or a CPG brand and you're curious about how to set up supply chain, manufacturers, fulfillment, the overall operations of a company like Elan Pure, and how to be successful. They have absolutely killed it with organic content and they're crushing it on TikTok Shop. I hope you guys can get a lot of value out of this. Paige was an amazing guest, super bubbly, super nice, and shared a lot of valuable information. Paige, welcome to Ops Unfiltered. Really excited to have you on.
We are so excited to be on.
Of course. I've seen you on all of the local Utah podcasts.
I have been feeling like a local celebrity these days. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's right. So let's get into your background real fast. So Ops Unfiltered is about diving into the dirty operations of modern commerce businesses. So you are the founder of Elan Pure. Is that how I pronounce it, by the way?
Yes, you did. Now, we have a lot of people that say Elan Pure, but it is French and it stands for energy and confidence. So it's technically pronounced Elan. So you did it correctly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's start there. What is Elan Pure?
Oh my
How did you start it? And give us...
Wow. I never know how far to go in these questions because it's really been on the forefront of my mind for many, many years. Back in 2020, my sister was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and then I was battling my own hormonal challenges. And so I was building a tech company at the time and trying to figure out how I could build a product line that could actually support my sister and I, right? But I had no experience in this, right? And what I started doing was just taking small actions towards this. So I started eliminating all products that had endocrine disruptors in it and started to realize that there's a huge opportunity in the market for self-tan. The beauty of that is when I was building this, well, it's Current. So if anyone knows of Current, now it's Pattern Creators. I was able to work with hundreds of e-commerce brands and understand how to go about this, how to work with the chemist, what that looks like. So I just started diving in and I started working with the chemist.
Okay, so you had a tech platform, Current, that you were building.
Yes.
It got sold to Pattern, and you were exposed to a bunch of brands and how they operate. What was the number one thing that you saw that led you to think, I want to start my own. I want to do this?
It's so funny because a lot of people ask me, like, how do you find your passion? Like, how do you know what, like, you should do? And I was like, well, you just have to start doing things and see what, like, sparks something inside of you, right? Like, you probably are the same. It's like you start to kind of uncover things that you're really good at. And then the more challenges you face, the more you realize, oh, I can actually do this. And you have the confidence. So the moment that I started building confidence that I could do this was when I had $100 million CEOs reaching out to me and asking for advice with these e-com brands. And I was like, and it was so second nature, like the answer would just spew out of my mouth. And I'm like, okay, these people are coming to me for advice. They are worth well over what I'm worth. And I have the confidence now to do this. And so that's when I really took the plunge to go meet with a chemist and get things rolling on that.
Very cool. Okay. So how long have you been running and operating Elan Pure?
So it's going on 2 years. So when our company Current sold to Pattern, I stayed on for about a year, and behind the scenes, I was actually developing the product. It took us, and you're familiar with the manufacturing world, so it took us multiple manufacturers to nail this down because it's different in market. We're a foam and lotion hybrid, and we're non-toxic, and everyone told us they wanted to put in these crappy preservatives, so no one wanted to work with us, really. And so we had to find the right ones, and we're still, like, we're always shopping, right? Like, e-com brands are always shopping.
Diving more into the operations.
Yeah.
So many modern CPG brands or beauty brands, a big part is setting up your supply chain.
Yeah.
So how did you find your manufacturers? What was the setup? Who did you go to?
Yeah, it was kind of gritty. It was mostly just me Googling and trying to figure out ones around here.
You were first looking for U.S. manufacturers.
Yep.
Why not overseas manufacturers?
You know what's crazy? Because there's not a lot of education out there on what to do and how to do it. And I was like talking to, and a lot of these brands, the crazy thing is even these brands that are doing millions and millions in revenue are still paying crazy, crazy prices to manufacturers. Because even the e-com people that are seasoned don't understand the manufacturing world. Like, it actually is mind-blowing. So I would ask people for advice. I would do that. And then I was like, wait, that's ridiculous. I need to go this way. And so it's actually really fascinating to see even the well-seasoned brands, there's always enhancements brands can make. It's absolutely crazy. So I went the Google route. I went, I'm not one to shy away from asking people, for advice, feedback, etc. So I'm like going from people to people and going to events and asking people. And that's really how it kind of started evolving was I'd work with one and then someone would say, oh, they're the worst. Don't go with them anymore. And then you just start to all kind of help each other out, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But as you can tell, it wasn't a great start. And it took us 16 iterations to even get our product. 16
iterations.
16.
So walk me through that. Formulation for skincare brands and beauty brands, it's a very difficult part of product development.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the number one lesson that you would share with somebody formulating a non-toxic?
Yeah, there are so many. I would say on the manufacturing side, I burned cash. I didn't read the fine print and understand what it actually meant to work with this type of, say, manufacturer, right? Because they're taking sometimes upwards 90% margin, right? Screwing the brands, then screwing the consumer. So then you have to almost double your prices, right?
Why is that, do you think? Why do they have such high margins for the new formulators, the new e-commerce companies that are coming in?
Well, I think that it's twofold. I think that sometimes they have to when it's smaller volumes, right? However, when the volumes increase and they're still taking crazy margins, they're running a business too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, like we all get that. But it's just this cycle. And I'm like, how do you get out of the cycle? I don't know. You're here to tell me that.
Who did you ultimately end up going with? Like you said you had 16 rounds of formulation?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What are some of the mistakes that you made in the formulation process?
So going in, and it was a lot of push and pull because of preservatives. A lot of preservatives on market are toxic and can lead to hormone disruption. And so a lot of that was testing different preservatives that are actually non-toxic. So we have 2 non-toxic preservatives. And even some manufacturers don't want to work with us because we're not willing to do like the high toxic ones, right?
Okay.
And so going through that process, I didn't go in with like clear understanding of that, right? And then within the formulation phase, I did bring a whole list of ingredients that we could not have. So that's what I did right. I would say to do, like, if you're in this process right now, a couple of things to do right. Learn the fine print, right? Like talk to their customers and actually see and get real raw feedback. I didn't do that in the early days. Understand margins as your volumes increase. Like have a really clear understanding of that in the very beginning. And then that was the last one that I did right, was just going in and making sure they knew, like, hey, this is non-toxic.
It sounds like working with U.S. manufacturers, you kind of just have to bite the bullet with the higher price points until you can actually scale up and have better margins. In your specific industry, what are some of the specific toxic ingredients that
oh my gosh, yeah,
you should avoid? Even just like 1 or 2.
Well, a lot of them, like, you'd be surprised, Red 40 is actually in a lot of self-tanners specifically. And makeup.
Really?
And it's going into your bloodstream.
Is it just for the dye to make it red?
Yep. So it can basically, some will put dyes in there to combat if some tans can be orange. Because there are 2 tanning agents in a tan, DHA and erythulose. And so people will put dyes in it, but you don't need to. We don't have any dyes in ours. And then we use it's about 80% organic ingredients in ours.
Why do big brands use toxic ingredients?
It's cheaper. Because dyes that are used in other countries, because Red 40 is and a lot of harmful dyes are banned, right? They're going to use food grade stuff like turmeric, beets, etc. So that's just, it's always, you always have to follow the money trail, right? When you go to Europe and you're comparing Fruit Loops in the US versus Fruit Loops in Europe, it's very different. They don't have dyes in theirs, and they have way less ingredients. It is absolutely the craziest thing in the entire world.
So what led you to find that out?
Crazy,
you
crazy
see so
passion.
Nowadays you see so many TikToks on this. Like there's so many viral threads on Red 40 and other toxic ingredients. But this was, obviously TikTok existed back then, but this stuff wasn't as viral. So how did you discover this?
It was all just research, and my sister really helped me too. She's an absolute genius, and because she had an actual autoimmune disease where she had to eliminate all of them because it was just whacking up her hormones, which we can get into breast cancer and all of the other things that are out there because of the toxins in the world. But I won't get into that in this because there's a deep, deep rabbit hole.
Right.
But some of the other ones include fragrance. Like fragrance can hide thousands of chemicals and it's not transparent. So when you see the word fragrance, it could be messing with you. Like men, testosterone is on the decline. More and more women are saying they have PCOS and other harmful hormone disrupting diseases and illnesses because of so many of the toxic overloads that we have.
Wow.
I know.
Well, back to formulation, just to close the loop on that. How long did it take to get the final formulation for your
2
first
years.
product? 2 years.
2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
that's where I'm like, the heart and soul was in it, people. We got 2 years.
16 rounds, right?
16 rounds.
So 2 years in formulations, you must have launched with the perfect product, right?
Well, we thought, but 3 months in, we learned that our foam bottles crystallized when it was in cooler temperature. So our foaming agent was literally crystallizing. So people were sending in these videos of the foam coming out as a liquid. And we didn't know what the heck was going on. So I'm calling my chemist. I'm like, what is going on? It took us a whole week to actually identify the problem because a lot of people keep their home around 70 degrees, right? But the second, even if it went down to 69 in some homes, it was boom right there. So what we did is we did massive, massive discounts to sell out of the inventory. Massive, which is what you got to do. Trash some of them. And then for the rest, we just said, listen, if you set it over your heater or you set it in your warm garage, because this was in the summertime, it will go back down. And it was like the weirdest experience. Our customer support emails were just crazy. But you know what's crazy about the whole thing? Because we were upfront and honest about it, they were so happy. And we gave away, once we had our new formula ready for them, we gave all of those people free bottles.
That's awesome.
Majority of those people, yeah. So
this is the spirit of the podcast, Ops Unfiltered. It's like, I mean, everybody jumping into a brand, like they're passionate about something, but there's always issues because they're inexperienced at certain things and they just learn the hard knocks just through experience and 16 formulations.
Yep.
This reminds me of a clip from, did you see the Mr. Beast podcast recently? He talks about Mr. Beast has his biggest influencer, biggest YouTuber in the entire world. He has his own brands. One of them is Feastables.
Yeah.
He talks about how when he first got into chocolate, ignorance was the biggest problem. And he was just like, you know what? Chocolate shouldn't have those little divots in it. And so he did it like that. And then he didn't get a packaging engineer. And so what he found out was he was opening the packaging. As soon as you would take one piece of chocolate, the rest would fall out. And because he didn't have divots in the chocolate, they would just explode and shatter into a million pieces. Yeah. So it's just, I feel like everybody goes through that in their operations. Like you don't know what you don't know. Do you use ChatGPT to help bridge the knowledge gap?
We are using ChatGPT on the daily, let's be real. And you know what's so funny is I was just telling my friend, this is a little off topic, but I can tell when she gives me a ChatGPT response. And I'm like, okay, listen, for a heavy ChatGPT user, just stop doing that, make it a little personalized. But no, we use it all the time. Like we're using it for all of our social content planning right now. We're using it to know actually when to launch products that we have coming out. And we were going to launch our face tanning spray end of February, but now we are launching it for springtime because of travel size, and it's going to be a little bit better for traveling. So we totally adjusted our timeline through ChatGPT and our content strategy around that.
What did ChatGPT say to you?
ChatGPT basically said, oh, I wish I had it. I could probably look it up.
Yeah.
It essentially said, if you want the highest amount of volumes right when you launch this around traveling, spring, your must-have travel hacks, because everyone's already making their spring plans, right? And so we can lean on the travel size, but then also it's a natural glow because it's the face tanning spray. So you might be tan, your whole body might be tan, but you might not want to put makeup on all the time when you're on a boat or whatever. So it's like, just use our face tanning spray and it lasts a week. So
that's very cool.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. I'm super excited.
I want to pivot a little bit to, we were talking about this before the podcast started. You were talking about how, we only have 2 full-time employees and a ton of contractors. I feel like that is how you succeed with a modern commerce brand. What do you, as an e-commerce founder, decide to hire for versus use fractional 1099s for?
So this is probably the question I get asked the most, because a lot of founders, especially the ones that go the VC route, want to hire a bunch of full-time employees. I didn't go VC. I went the more gritty route. I'm self-funded. And so I have to be smart with my cash. But a lot of the people that, like you said, go the opposite direction, end up burning cash because people don't have enough to do. When you're launching a brand, it actually takes time to get your brand out there and testing. Once you actually have solidified that, which we feel like we're getting to this spot, I wish I could share this really piece of exciting news. Cut this out. We are have you guys seen? So my content guy, he is friends, like, because he's a model also, which that's a hack to your content person. They should have a full-time thing doing something content and creative related. And we're going to...
Wait, what?
Do not put this... It can't be on here. Yeah, it can't be on here. It's so crazy. And then the whole... Like, we're going to... But anyways, okay, I'm so sorry. I just had to tell someone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's do a quick exercise, because I feel like this is incredibly useful. Let's list out all of the things. And we can basically say, going from 0 to 10 million as a beauty brand, like, what are the jobs that... What are the different responsibilities that you have? And then you tell me, did you use a contractor or did you hire a full-time employee?
I think that's a great idea. And I can also share how I started, like, as incrementally growing the team.
First one, design.
That was actually my first contractor, was designing the bottle. I did not feel like I could design it myself. A lot of brands do, but the branding was one where I hired immediately, not full-time, again, contractor to design the bottles, and then a content person to actually build out my branding with me. As you guys can see, like, the branding, we have a very editorial vibe. And when you're beauty, like, it has to be editorial vibe, because people associate quality persona, right? Branding with quality products. And that's just the beauty industry. I'm not familiar with the other industries, but just a little tidbit there.
That makes sense. Packaging. So, like, I know you said the bottle design, but, like, what about the packaging design? Because that's also
contract.
Really cool. Contract. Okay. What about website development?
We literally I did it as the founder.
Nice.
I believe that the founder at the very beginning, if you're gritting it out, you're not funded outside, you should be able to take on that. It's so easy. We have a Shopify template, and then I chat GPT'd some code to customize some things, and
Nice. Okay.
Super easy. You can spin up a site in 24 hours.
The Shopify templates. Okay. What about fulfillment? Did you use a 3PL or did you get a warehouse?
I did a 3PL.
Okay. How do you choose the right 3PL?
I think for me specifically, what was important was I was going to get low rates. And so for me, I negotiated down low rates. When you're working with other warehouses, you need to go through how much does it actually cost to add each product in, and what's the actual labor fees, because you have to build that into your P&L. Not enough people build in all these little small things into your P&L to actually see what your contribution margin is.
Pack fee, the bundling fee, oversized
I basically chose the most inexpensive one.
Got it. Okay. So, and you basically just, I'm sure you probably just did this like on Excel. You were just calculating the future potential margins and baking in as much as you can.
But I will say, on that note, shipping from Salt Lake all the way to New York and other places, like, as we're growing, we're already like, we got to get a warehouse, like, or we got to get a 3PL in Texas or Kentucky, or like
East and West Coast coverage.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because it's just so much more expensive.
Because the zones, like the later zones.
Like Salt Lake, it's not that cheap to ship out of here.
Yeah.
If you're going, all the way to there. Now, Texas has a bunch of ports, and it's like the cheapest in Texas, from what I found. Feel free to tell me otherwise if anyone knows.
Okay, next, what about supply chain management? So what I mean by that is purchasing, forecasting. Do you handle that, or an employee handles that, or? I
handle that right now.
Okay.
And I need someone else to.
Yeah, so you're almost to that stage where you're ready to that like first ops hire. Okay, really cool.
I don't know. Not full time. I'm very stingy on the full time right now.
As you should be. What about retail wholesale management?
So right now I'm handling the majority of that. Now I do have a gal who does 10 hours a month with us, because we want to start getting ready for retailing. We're wholesaling right now, so she's going to build up our wholesale program. That's going to be primarily med spas, wellness, etc. That's going to then help fund retail. Before we go retail, which I will say we are talking to Nordstrom right now, but before we go full retail, they want you, like the Ultas, the Sephoras, they want you to have a really large social following, and we're still early. And so we need to build that up a little bit more to then even, before we even have the conversation with them.
Okay. Ads manager.
We are solely organic right now.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, talk about that.
But I will be hiring a contractor soon.
Traditional D2C model is like, it's just an arbitrage with Meta or TikTok ads.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, is this just a strategic move to build your brand
it's
and
just
build a good audience?
Because my background is creator marketing. And so we have 1,500 affiliates, and that is how we get all of our sales.
Okay, well, dive into that. Like, what are some things that you do that are super successful that you wish other brands would do or that they would know?
Just leaning in and pouring into your affiliates, because those are really the people that are the drivers. Like, you look at TikTok Shop, every other thing is someone selling something, right? But the creators that are actually like behind some of these brands, those are the ones that are out word of mouth. They're the ones that are like, hey, you should buy this. Those are the ones that are long term. I think ads are awesome, and we're going to start that. But for us, we have to be incremental with our spend. And so until we feel like we're at a really good place, we're not going to touch this yet, which we're actually getting to a really good place. So I'm starting to have conversations with some contractors right now on the ad side. But because we've been solely organic thus far, and it's been fueling our business, we're like, let's just keep doing this until we know what's working fully, and then that's what we can do ads with. Because I think so many brands dive first into the ads, and they are burning cash because they don't actually know who their audience is. Because honestly, when you launch a brand, you're kind of guessing. And then your audience tells you, and they tell you how you should market to them. And then on the ad side, once you have all of that solidified, you're actually going to get conversions pretty on the spot. Like, I feel like this is the best way to go about it. Launch an affiliate program first, get as much content as you can, and then get that content to then use for ads later.
That's awesome. What do you think of UGC? It's like a trending topic on LinkedIn and socials. What is your view on UGC?
I think UGC, like user-generated content, is always going to be good, but because it's always so fabricated, like so many brands are, like a lot of brands will actually hire models to do UGC, like scripted UGC. And so, yes, and some brands, it works really great for ads, honestly. But I think what the new trend is going to be going forward is employee-generated content. The employees, like why I'm backing this brand, why I'm excited about this. And then more of the customers versus all of these big creators, right? Like, I think we're seeing the wave of these paid influencers kind of leaving. No one feels like their content is even relatable anymore. So it's like, all of these customers that then turn into affiliates are going to be the raving fans that keep coming back. And that's the LTV we all want, right? Like, we, as a new brand, we can't even measure LTV at this point, right? But it's like, if we can build that relationship now and make sure they're always going to be coming back, then we have brand longevity and equity.
I feel like that's the trigger right there of turning on ad spend, because if I'm going to spend money to acquire a customer, they will come back.
Correct.
It's not a leaky bucket.
Yep.
I want to dive into our quickfire questions real fast. So we're going to try to do like 30 seconds or less response.
Oh gosh, I'm always really bad at these ones.
What's one piece of advice you would go back and tell yourself before starting Elan Pure?
You can literally do anything. Like, don't stress. I think so many people let fear step in the way. And it's like, just eliminate fear, literally completely. I would have started this sooner.
What is setting Elan Pure apart from other products in the industry?
We are taking a wellness approach in beauty, and a real wellness approach, a hormone-safe approach. A lot of brands will slap clean beauty labels on, but they're actually not hormone safe. And so we're changing that. And then our foam and lotion hybrid is a first of its kind.
Very cool. 3PL or your own warehouse?
3PL.
Leave it at that. Best advice when finding a manufacturer of skin products?
Make sure they have experience sourcing organic and non-toxic products.
If you could go back and change one decision in your career, what would you change?
Okay. I actually have a couple. I would have gone back and I would have actually learned finance earlier. Like, my brain with finance still is like, I'm honestly still refining my skills on finance. And then number 2 would be advocate for myself with higher salary. I was so excited to help build companies, and I've always been a giver, and I'm like the ideal employee, honestly, because like I'll just do so much around the clock for like I did little to no pay. And it wasn't until I had a friend who was like, "You're running this company. What are you doing? Like this is insane." So now I'm very cognizant of that. Like I can see myself in some of my employees actually.
Yeah.
And I know that everyone isn't getting paid what they are meant to right now. And they all know that, like, right, as the company grows, they'll, but it's important to me that as we grow, I am really giving back to those people because I was one of those people as well.
That's awesome. Well, also, how do you attract like-minded people?
That's a good question. So I actually have interview questions where I have all of my core values on it, and I ask questions for each of those core values because you know this too. Like as you're building a company, you want people that you want to hang out with too, right? Like, yes, you're building a business, but you want to be excited to invest in them. You want to be excited to talk to them and get on meetings every day with them, right? And so for me, I'm like filtering that out constantly. And I'm very upfront with what my standards are, what I expect. And if it's not for everyone, like building a startup is not for everyone. We are not for the, just the 9-to-5ers. Granted, we have a lot of autonomy. So I don't care when they work, but it's like, that you have to operate way up here because we got to make this thing work.
You got to care.
Yeah.
If you only had one sales channel for Elan Pure, what would you choose?
Probably TikTok. If I had to go full in on one.
Okay. Amazon, overrated, underrated?
You just have to do it. We're about to launch on Amazon. You just have to be everywhere. Nowadays, e-com brands, you have to be everywhere. It's all about distribution. Even wholesale. I'm like, why are people not prioritizing getting into these different places like X, Y, and Z?
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Launching your first product and marketing it for sale, it's really difficult to plan how much inventory to purchase. It's super challenging. How did you do that?
Well, first off, I needed you guys, and I didn't know about you guys because it was not the way I wanted it to go. It was really just a guessing game. So I knew what the market was. I knew our TAM. And I was like, okay, but I also know we're going to take an affiliate approach and we're going to try to do solely organic in the beginning. So I was like, well, let's just launch with 5,000 to start. Let's see what happens. And then we'll do 10,000. That's literally how I did it. It was my brain being like, well, this is what I think we can do. Mm-hmm. I think we can maybe manage to get 90K a month. We'll see. And then we went from there. But we really didn't need you guys. And actually, we still need you guys.
Well, it's always difficult. The new products, it's so difficult to predict how much to purchase. Just you're going off no data, or it's data of the market, which might not directly coincide with what you're selling. It's always...
Yeah. And I would say do lower quantities at the beginning because I'm just going to go on a whim here and say 99% of the time you have to change your formula. And so if you do over that, it's like a waste of money. Also because of, expiration dates and stuff, like you really want to make sure what you're going to market with is legit. Some manufacturers will do 2,500, but you're just going to be paying crazy prices.
Okay.
So 5K was kind of a safe bet for me.
Very cool. What platforms can we find you at?
You can find us everywhere at Elan_Pure. I'm pretty sure that's what we are everywhere. And we're starting to make some traction over on TikTok and Pinterest, actually. Recently, we've been doing really well on Pinterest.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll give you guys a follow. So anything else upcoming that you want to tell people?
Well, we have that face tanning spray coming in, early spring. And then we are actually also getting into the wellness space.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome. I really appreciate you coming on Ops Unfiltered, Paige, and thanks.
It was so fun to be here. Thanks for having me.